The supercarrier paradox. For decades, one machine has symbolized the peak of military power at sea: the aircraft carrier, floating air bases the size of cities. Capable of launching dozens of combat aircraft hundreds of miles from any coastline, wherever a U.S. supercarrier appears, it sends a message: power has arrived. But in modern warfare, a growing question is challenging this symbol of dominance. Are aircraft carriers still the ultimate tool of global power, or are they becoming the next battleship: massive, powerful, but increasingly vulnerable to new weapons? The debate has resurfaced again during the recent conflict involving Iran. As the United States and Israel conducted operations against Iranian targets, American aircraft carriers became central to the campaign. Multiple U.S. carrier strike groups were deployed to the region. From these ships, fighter jets launched repeated air operations. The message was unmistakable: American naval power still dominates the seas. But while the carriers operated freely, something notable did not happen. Iran never seriously attempted to destroy them, and that absence has sparked a new discussion among defense analysts. Some observers argue the conflict proves that aircraft carriers remain incredibly effective against regional powers. Others say the opposite. They argue the war proves very little about the real future of carriers, because the most important question was never actually tested: could a modern adversary truly destroy one? Aircraft carriers today operate in a world filled with long-range missiles, drones, submarines, and advanced surveillance systems. Many analysts believe these technologies could make large surface ships increasingly exposed. In this view, the supercarrier could eventually follow the path of the battleship, once the centerpiece of naval warfare, later replaced by a new generation of weapons. But the Iran conflict offers an incomplete answer. The war demonstrated overwhelming American naval superiority. Yet it did not truly test whether a carrier strike group could survive against a technologically advanced opponent. Instead, the conflict revealed something else. The real challenge of sinking an aircraft carrier is far more complex than simply launching missiles. To destroy a carrier at sea, an adversary must complete something far more difficult: a full military targeting process known as the kill chain. And without that chain functioning perfectly, even the most powerful missile arsenal may never find its target. How a carrier strike group survives: an aircraft carrier never sails alone. Instead, it operates as the center of an entire naval system, known as a carrier strike group. This formation is designed to protect the carrier through multiple layers of defense. Surrounding the carrier are escort ships, including guided missile destroyers equipped with the Aegis combat system. These ships track threats in the air and at sea using advanced radar systems. If incoming missiles or aircraft are detected, interceptor missiles can be launched to destroy them before they reach the carrier. Electronic warfare systems add another layer of protection. These systems can jam enemy radar, confuse targeting systems, or disrupt incoming weapons. Meanwhile, the carrier itself launches aircraft that extend the defensive perimeter hundreds of miles outward. Fighter jets patrol the skies. Surveillance aircraft monitor distant threats. Together, this layered defense creates an extremely complex protective shield. But defensive systems alone are not what make carriers difficult to destroy. The real challenge lies in targeting them. Aircraft carriers are constantly moving. They can change position quickly across vast areas of ocean. This means an attacker must first find the carrier, then continue tracking it as it moves, then generate accurate targeting data, and finally guide weapons toward the ship while overcoming defensive countermeasures. This sequence is known as the kill chain, and every step must succeed. If detection fails, the attack fails. If tracking is lost, the attack fails. If targeting data becomes outdated, the attack fails. Even if a missile reaches the area, it may never find the moving ship. This is where Iran faced a major limitation. Despite possessing missiles, drones, naval mines, and fast attack craft, Iran lacks a robust surveillance network capable of maintaining long-range tracking of a carrier strike group. Without persistent over-the-horizon targeting systems, such as advanced satellite and maritime surveillance networks, missiles would effectively be launched without reliable targeting data. In other words, firing blind. And against a highly protected naval formation, blind attacks rarely succeed. This technological gap played a crucial role in the recent conflict. Because without a functioning kill chain, even large missile arsenals cannot reliably threaten a moving supercarrier. Why the Iran war was not a true test: Iran does possess several tools designed to challenge naval forces. These include anti-ship cruise missiles, naval mines, drones, and fast attack craft operating in the Persian Gulf. Tehran has also promoted the development of long-range anti-ship missiles capable of targeting ships operating far from its coastline. On paper, these systems appear capable of threatening large naval formations. But possessing weapons does not automatically translate into the ability to destroy a carrier. Because the real challenge lies in connecting those weapons to accurate targeting information. Without continuous tracking data, long-range missiles cannot reliably hit a moving target. This is where Iran faced a critical weakness. The country lacks the integrated surveillance architecture required to support a persistent kill chain. There is no large-scale satellite network continuously monitoring carrier movements. No global maritime surveillance grid capable of feeding real-time targeting information to missile systems. Without those capabilities, long-range attacks become extremely difficult. Even before the U.S. air campaign targeted Iranian military assets, sinking a U.S. supercarrier would have been highly unlikely. Once Iran's conventional naval capabilities were severely degraded, the possibility became even smaller. As a result, the current conflict does not provide a clear answer to the aircraft carrier debate. Instead, it represents a limited scenario. A confrontation between a global naval power and a regional military force. The real strategic question lies elsewhere. Many analysts argue that the future of aircraft carriers will not be determined in conflicts like this. Instead, the true test would occur in a confrontation with a much more technologically advanced opponent, an adversary capable of building a complete targeting network, one that can detect, track, and strike naval forces across vast distances. This is why the debate often shifts toward the Indo-Pacific, where a different military environment is emerging, and where entirely new weapons are changing the balance of naval warfare. The future of the supercarrier modern naval warfare is entering a period of rapid technological change. New weapons are expanding the distance from which ships can be targeted. Anti-ship ballistic missiles and advanced cruise missiles can strike targets hundreds, sometimes thousands, of miles away. These weapons are specifically designed to threaten large naval formations. At the same time, unmanned systems are transforming surveillance and targeting. Drones can remain in the air for long periods. They can observe naval movements, relay targeting information, and guide long-range missiles toward their targets. In large numbers, drones could even overwhelm defensive systems. Some analysts warn that inexpensive unmanned swarms might eventually create new challenges for carrier defenses. Submarines remain another major threat. Quiet diesel-electric submarines operating on battery power can be extremely difficult to detect in coastal waters. Advanced nuclear submarines continue improving in stealth and weapon range. Historically, submarines have been among the most dangerous threats to large surface ships. As underwater warfare technology advances, that danger may increase. Together, these developments are reshaping the strategic environment. Some analysts believe aircraft carriers will need to adapt, changing tactics, operating differently, and integrating new technologies to survive. Others believe the age of the supercarrier may eventually fade, replaced by different forms of naval power. For now, the conflict with Iran demonstrates something clear. Against regional powers, American aircraft carriers remain extremely powerful instruments of military force. But that success does not resolve the deeper strategic debate, because the real question has not yet been answered, not in the Persian Gulf, and not in this war. The future of the aircraft carrier will not be decided by conflicts where the kill chain is incomplete. It will be decided in the wars where that chain is fully built, and where the oceans themselves become the battlefield of the world's most advanced military systems.